Incredibles 2 trailer that dropped during the Olympics. Now, I'm a big fan of the first Incredibles. I mean, I'm sure most people our age are, you know, and our kind of our age range of growing up watching it. I mean, this is pretty much the best Fantastic Four. The first Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie ever. I mean,
I'd
you know
agree.
what I mean? There's no point in even making a Fantastic Four movies. Like, you're not probably not going to live up to this. A lot of it, first of all, I'd say the animation looks incredible. I mean, it's just gorgeous looking. And the animation, I was watching a little bit of the first movie today, and it still holds up really well. I think it still looks really gorgeous.
No, I always like to say that this is probably the same animation, just like in a higher quality, right?
Pretty much. I mean, because, you know, look at people's like sweaters and shirts and everything. Look at the texture of all that. It just looks really just sharper and just much better.
You see the wrinkles in his shirt. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you see all this type of wrinkles in the shirt and everything. Like, it just looks just so much sharper and clearer. And, you know, so in this trailer, you get more of a story. So, you know, you see, like, the Bob Odenkirk character talking, and you see him say, you know, hey, bringing more superheroes back into the light.
Help me bring supers back into the sunlight. We need Elastigirl.
Bye. Because, and I'm guessing that's because... So you see, you know, the beginning of the trailer opens up literally where the first movie ended off with them fighting the Underminer character. And, you know, so after that event, a lot of people probably like Heroes again, probably are favorable against Heroes. And they're like, okay, Bob Odenkirk comes in. It's like, okay, hey, you know, since you're doing your thing, how about I make you popular again? I try to, you know, do a PR thing, make you big again. And he's doing it with Elastigirl. And do you think it feels similarly to the plot of the first movie, where you have kind of this rich person who's taking one of the heroes, trying to make them popular again and playing on their ego to be heroes? And then you have, you know, Mr. Incredible, you know, staying at home. And so you think it's the opposite now, where Elastigirl's getting suckered in by the rich person instead of Mr. Incredible. And then they say even in the movie, there's gonna be a character who's like another hero who's a big fan of Elastigirl, like she's a super fan.
I mean, I see what they're doing now, okay, but still, come on, like don't follow it. Like this is like Star Wars, Force Awakens all over again.
Yeah. Do you prefer? Because I know this movie's been in development for so a lot of people have been talking about this for so long. Because the first Incredibles came out. When? 2004, right? Yeah.
I was going to say 2002.
2004 it came out. So that's 14 years ago this movie came out. And a lot of people have been hyped to see another one of this. Are you glad that it starts off right where the first one ended, or did you want to see a thing where they jumped in the future more?
Nah, I didn't want to see the future. I like the way they did it now. I thought about the future one earlier, but as of now, my final conclusion would be like, yeah, finish it off. I mean, just start it off where they finished, because they found out. I mean, they didn't find out Jack had powers. They just did that in a teaser trailer, and that's how we know that the second movie is gonna actually show Jack using his powers and everything. And now that we have this trailer, we're seeing like how they're dealing with the shit. He's a fucking stay-at-home dad, and he's like, oh my god, this kid he wants the cookies.
That is freaky.
But I can't keep giving him cookies. How? He's freaky. Nobody in a daddy. What?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like how they show him, he basically has every power in the world. Like he can teleport, he can transmute himself into anything he wants, like a little demon. He can shoot laser out of his eyes. I mean, he basically can do anything he wants. You know what I mean? Like
a child's imagination.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, so he's pretty much the most powerful character in the entire family, really. I mean, I think that I like his line where he says, like him being a stay-at-home dad, like he wants to succeed because me succeeding means that she can succeed, and then we can succeed, which means probably like, hey, if I do this, I'm doing a good job at it. She can continue being a hero, give a good name for superheroes. That means we can get back in the game. Frozone and me, we can do it all again. But I need to be able to be good at doing this and being a parent.
Got to succeed so she can succeed. So we can succeed.
I get it, Bob.
So that's the only thing. Like aside from just being supportive, this is the one thing that's different from the first movie where I see a contrast. He wants to get all of the team together. She didn't want to do that in the first movie, right? She was against them being superheroes in the first place.
Right, because it's illegal. It's illegal to be superheroes. Yeah.
So like everything is just one for one, and from the first movie to the second movie. But that would be the only difference that changes things along the way, I would assume. That he wants them to be superheroes as a family and everything.
Well, I think you see her, she's having fun. You see her on the bike and everything like that. You see she's got like fans, and you see the people in the car. And
What do you mean, that midlife crisis?
I mean, I think she's kind of enjoying being a superhero. I mean, who doesn't like, kind of that attention and all the things like that? And especially, her being a stay-at-home mom, she gets to finally go out, do that stuff she loves to do.
You get a motorcycle when you have a certain amount of kids and they're a certain age. You're going through a midlife crisis. That's the motorcycle is the key point.
I think the motorcycle is given to her by Bob Odenkirk's character. Like, that's part of her new image. Because you see her wearing like a new costume. And I think that's part of like her new image to make her look kind of cooler. I'm
just saying, man, I've seen Wild Hogs. I know what a midlife crisis looks like.
Okay, well, I don't know why you see that movie at all. I don't know, like...
It was a decent movie. It wasn't the best movie ever, but it was a decent movie, something to watch. It was on cable.
Oh, okay, wow. Because, yeah, I don't know why the hell you watched that movie, but... yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's coming out in June, so that's not that far away.
Yeah, surprising, actually.
Yeah, and, I mean, I'm excited for it. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I hope that's not just the first movie over again. I hope that, because like when you really think about it, Toy Story is kind of like the same kind of movie plot wise in the other two movies, kind of.
Somewhat. It's
I love Toy Story. I love all three of them, but it's kind of similar plots all two of the movies.
But in all honesty, man, I feel like you can argue that with a lot of movies these days. And like I said, Star Wars Force Awakens.
Yeah.
People love the movie because they loved the prior movie before it.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I mean, Star Wars Return to Form. I like Force Awakens as well. Yeah.
They stick with a formula that they know works.
Yeah, very true.
Which I will give praise once again to Black Panther because they used a new formula. They found something new and made it work.
Yeah, it's something different. Black Panther was something different that you don't see in MCU, or don't you see in a lot of movies? Just more seeing something different that we don't normally see.
Exactly. We've been begging them to take. This is why the movie will. I don't know why I'm jumping back on the old topic, but this is why the movie will profit the way it is because we've been begging them to try something different.
Right. Yeah. All right. So moving on to talking about The Incredibles 2. Hello, thanks for checking out our content. If you liked it, let us know, and if you didn't, let us know that as well. If you want to see more content, we post every Saturday on SoundCloud and YouTube at The Afternoon Tune. You can also find us through various social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all one word at The Afternoon Tune. And if you don't deal with any of that social media stuff, you can also find us through our email at theafternoontune@gmail.com. And don't forget to always stay tuned.